I promise you until the end of this video, you will be master at painting any winter scene in watercolor. I'll also share the secret tips of creating a blended sky like this and also lots of other secrets to create the snow details in watercolor. Hi, this is Amit. Welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you're watching this video. Shall we get started? Alright, let me start with the preparation of the paper. And for this particular painting I have already done the sketching part earlier, so I'll not waste time here. So at this stage what I'm trying to do is to keep a plan ready in my brain, what I should be doing, what all sequence I'll be following to paint this particular scene. Like the first I would be painting this sky. I want a very blended nice juicy wash there. Then probably I'll be painting the trees and the houses as my paper dampness conditions are. So you have to notice very carefully the snows that you're seeing here are not actual white. So you should keep a wash there maybe in the beginning itself, so that when you'll be putting the details you'll be good to go with that. So this kind of small details I'm keeping in my brain as a plan, so that I'll be able to ready with the painting. I'm basically mixing two colors here, the bluish tone which I have mixed cerulean blue and bit of cobalt to get that, and for the warm tone I have used the orange and bit of gamboge hue there. I have made the paper completely wet and I'll start with the bottom warm tone first, and then I'll go for that bluish wash, because what I want here that my paper is completely wet. When I'll be creating that bluish wash on top of this particular yellow wash, and then I let the colors flow and get mixed together. After painting that bluish wash, I will tilt the paper approximately at 45 degree or so, and I let the colors blend together naturally, so that I get that nice blend. As you are seeing here, that you cannot achieve that by creating it manually, so you have to let the color flow naturally to get it. So once I understand the dampness of the paper, I will go with the this houses first at this stage. As you are seeing there, the light is very interestingly hitting on the subjects. It's not completely from one side, it looks like, right? So top part of this particular house are still facing a bit of light here. So I'm trying to create a variegated wash in this house walls, starting with the mixing of bit of orange and burnt sienna together, and as I come down I'll be mixing up with slightly ultramarine to it to get it slightly darker tone in this case. And you see how I am preserving those white of the paper, because those areas are having some sort of trees or bushes which are covered with the snow. And as it goes into the painting, you will see the light are very low there, so I am eventually painting those houses with some dark tones. So I have mixed basically ultramarine blue with burnt sienna to get that tone, and at every point I am very mindful where all I need to preserve the white of the paper, so that I get that snowy effect. As my paper has dried off, so I have sprinkled little bit of water for the background to be painted. So I am actually trying to do one new thing here. Typically I paint the light areas first, then I come to the shadow part here. So the trees, how they are appearing here are in this area specifically where I'm painting, are kind of under the shadow, which are kind of bluish in nature. So I have mixed royal blue in my palette to get that specific effect. I have also used bit of cerulean blue to get that. So once this area is wet. Now I am trying to give that light part of the trees, and I will let the color blend together once again so that I get that nice wash. Similar approach I am following for the right hand side also. I have made that area a bit wet, and I am starting with the light areas for the trees here first. Then I'll go for the areas which are under shadows. So as you are seeing how I am creating those effects, and I am basically letting the color flow naturally and create whatever it basically wants to create. But I am very mindful about the dampness of the paper so that I have this color flow well in control, so that it is not uncontrolled and create very unwanted shapes or something that I do not want. And I am tilting the paper in different directions so that I let the colors flow together and basically get those effects. Here comes a bit of detailing part about the trees. So I will be creating those tree branches here and there to show that those particular chunk of blended was actually means something. So I am trying to give sort of branching details here and there, and I am basically mindful here that branches are coming out from the shadow part towards the light. So I am trying to show those areas only which are under light. So it basically kind of a hide and seek game, and you do whatever possible details you can do to create that nice effect. To paint the snows in the foreground, I have actually made that area bit wet, and I'm using cobalt blue to get one layer of soft wash there, and I'll be using wet on wet technique to give few more or one or two more layers on top of that, so that I'm able to establish that depth into that area. Basically that area is not flat, that's what we have to show or establish in the painting. As I mentioned earlier, the light here is very interesting, and the first house is still catching some sort of light there. So eventually I should be able to show some sort of shadow part there so that I achieve that sense of light on that top part of the house. The most important part in a snow painting or winter painting is when you actually paint those areas which are underlying the snow. When you are establishing those small details popping out of the snow, gives your painting very realistic look, as you are seeing. And I'm also trying to add bit of more details in that foreground snow. I'm not much caring about the shapes here, because all I want to show some sort of details in that area. Now I'm showing how you can use white paint to create bit more details, right? Those small tiny branches which I was not able to keep the white of the paper behind, now I can make up those areas, can add small tiny dots or lines or some sort of curves to show those branches and all those tree areas and all, right? This will keep even a better look, maybe a realistic look into my painting. Bonus tips: you have to create those shadows whatever you have created with those white dots. As you are seeing, very minutely I am creating small shadows into those areas, and that will complete your painting. the sound of removal of that tape from the paper is very satisfying, isn't it? So I hope you learned something in this video, and I hope you will be very much confident from now onwards whenever you attempt to paint a winter scene. Thanks for watching this video. Let me know your feedback on the comment box. Consider subscribing if you're new here. See you on the next video next week. Bye bye.